Talk 365 TV is proud to present today's event news you can use segment. And welcome back to the show. It is film festival time, and I am quite a bit older than Holly. I'm even quite a bit older than your acting age, which is 27.
29.
29, excuse me.
Give or take.
So I moved here in 1981, and Sundance started soon afterwards. You told me a great story. So I met at a party a number of years ago, a gentleman named Jeremy Kuhn. And we were just talking, and he knew that I was in TV, and I knew he was a movie producer. And his most recent project that I saw on Netflix was great. It was a documentary about a bunch of kids who recreated Raiders of the Lost Ark shot for shot.
Oh, wow.
It sounds crazy, and it was on Netflix, and it was wonderful.
Okay.
And I said, have you ever done a theatrical film? And he said, yeah, my first one. And I'm wondering, why go from theatrical film to documentaries? Mm-hmm. And I said, did it make any money? And he said, yeah, it made a lot of money. And I said, what was it? And he said, Napoleon Dynamite.
Don't you love that?
And you told me about the year these guys, the director and the actor, they were all up at Sundance as volunteers. The next year they were the...
I mean, the stories that come from Napoleon Dynamite are phenomenal. I have friends that I worked with at K-Jazz back in the day that were just up there on the crew. I mean, it was really the film that was never meant to make it or have an audience, but it was so much fun. It's one of those that you just had to get into it to really get the humor. I just remember when Pedro was in the tub and I just laughed so hard. That's probably another watch again. We should probably watch that one again in honor of independent film.
And it's being in the television business, every crew person I've ever met in a lot of years of doing this loves that movie.
Right.
And, you know, these are the people, the crew guys, what we do is really easy.
Compared to all the technical and all the background and all the stuff we need them to know so that we actually get heard and seen.
Oh my God.
There's a few steps, one or two.
You know, and live television is different. And when I meet people...
film is that on steroids too, because, I mean, oh my goodness.
The pressure and...
So
but a game,
many people.
I think a game is tougher. You know, we can argue about this later.
Right.
But a game is tougher because you know you have a hard in at 6 o'clock on Monday night.
Oh, I would 100% tell you live game would be 1,000 times worse than a film.
So when Fox took over doing NFL football, that's how the network was made. It was languishing in fourth place. Mm-hmm. And they got the NFL rights out from CBS. In their contract was 4 cameras covering the games to begin with. Now for a Super Bowl, there are in excess of 60 live cameras, and it could go higher than that.
Wow. That's crazy.
The TV, and you see the...
Think of what you can see inside of football now when you watch the game. Like, versus when you think back to the old tube TV and it's like blurry and like maybe there's a ball. Like, how did people do it and love it so much?
It is, the technology is so amazing now. And we're coming down to the Super Bowl, and that is the last event that we come together as a nation. Over 100 million people watch the Super Bowl.
So who's going this year? Someone? Do we know yet?
I just lost.
Who are your picks?
Well, I think Buffalo, even though they're not even qualified for the playoffs, is scary good. They've been playing very well lately. And everyone loves San Francisco. Their quarterback was the last pick in the draft. He was known as Mr. Irrelevant. And now Brock is arguably the best player in football.
I just can't believe San Francisco let go of the hot one.
Garoppolo?
So hot. Okay, now... we are talking Slamdance. We're here to go back to independent film because this is happening at the University of Utah, their Unstoppable program. This program is basically by filmmakers with disabilities, both visible and unseen. And this program is like, when you feel good about independent film and about seeing someone making their way that maybe otherwise wouldn't have been given a shot, and that's what you love about film festivals and independent filmmaking, this is that on steroids. And the way this all came together and the way that it was thought of and how it was born during the pandemic in 2021, which actually served the Unstoppable program to have legs and work and go because of the way everyone was forced to stay home and what that opportunity gave to people who are disabled and unable to be out there running around doing films. I mean, it's just such a phenomenal, awesome, feel-good, amazing story and a program that you want to get behind. And right up there at the University of Utah, so easy access. We had a chance last year to have a conversation with Taylor Miller, who is now the director of the whole festival, and a delight to speak with, and she's going to tell you all about the program, how it was created, and then where you can go to find out more information. Hey everybody, we made it with Miss Taylor Miller, who is the co-founder of the Unstoppable program here at Slamdance. Now, Taylor, I have been so looking forward to talking to you because two things. Number one, this is a baby program, started in 2021, which when we first had our meeting, I gasped and was like, oh no, and you were like, oh no, it ended up being a blessing in disguise. So tell us about the inception, the creation of the Unstoppable program, because it is so groundbreaking, and then how 2021, how that all turned out and moving into where we are now.
For sure. Thank you so much, Holly. I appreciate the opportunity. So, during the pandemic, I think that all creators and artists, whether it was filmmakers or writers or whatever, just all the creatives, I think we were trying to figure out new ways to tell a story, and that being hinged within a new understanding of being in public and then not being able to go places. And there's a woman, an incredible filmmaker. She's one of my dearest friends. Her name is Juliet Romeo. She's from Miami, and she had the idea of Unstoppable. She has sickle cell disease. She's had it since she was 6 months old, and she's a disability advocate and just a brilliant filmmaker. She basically wrote Peter Baxter a letter, and Peter's the president and co-founder of Slamdance, and just said, listen, we need a space for disability inclusion, and can we have a discussion about that? And Peter got the letter from her and kind of, instead of saying, we'll give you a small section in the festival where you can, he basically said you can have an entire program.
Right.
And so that's the sort of, beginning evolution of Unstoppable. It's funny, right? Because only Slamdance would create more programs during the pandemic, right? It's
Right.
like, how in the world, But it's also one of these things where Unstoppable is something that it is Slamdance to help one another tell a story and to be able to provide a platform
Right.
for filmmakers with visible and non-visible disabilities, providing that platform for them to tell their story, right?
Well, and interesting to have its debut year be a year where people didn't necessarily need to be standing in front of people on a stage or running from meeting to meeting in order to meet investors, because a lot of this opportunity for filmmakers is to become funded, is to meet investors, is to meet those people. So what a game changer for Unstoppable to be able to be at a computer in a Zoom meeting where we take away any possible barriers there.
Right. No, you're exactly right, Holly. And I think that a lot of it too is, this is our first year for Unstoppable to be in person, physically in person. But we've kept our promise of accessibility for having Unstoppable and the Slamdance Festival online.
Right.
As well.
Well, the pandemic opened up this whole new arena, I think, for artists everywhere. And it sounds like you guys have been able to come up with something absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, listen, it's for storytellers, right? There's so much of that is about reframing narrative. And, it's also been about reframing the narrative of accessibility. And, diversity, inclusion, accessibility, these are words that have an enormous impact on people every single day, and it's an opportunity for us to show these stories, to show different perceptions, to show different viewpoints of a person's life. And there has to be a quality when it comes to storytelling and accessibility, and it's not overnight, it's step by step, but it's listening to our filmmakers and doing everything that we can with our resources and our promise to them to come through with that. And it's time that people with visible and non-visible disabilities are treated the same way as others are treated, and especially being filmmakers, that their stories are shown and shared.
So tell us, for those out there watching, how do they become a part of it, whether they are interested in having a film be looked at, and then supporting it as a sponsor or being a part of supporting it in any way.
All right, absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Holly. I mean, check us out, slamdance.com, and all year long we're in the thick of it, just in terms with filmmakers and the festival, and we also have screenwriting competition, and there's other programs within Slamdance, and just have an understanding of the dates of when submissions are open, and then when the final deadline is for that, and and reach out to us, at Slamdance.
So definitely check out their website if you are interested in either submitting a film or becoming a supporter of either Slamdance or specifically the Unstoppable program. But before we go, we got to talk about your home here at the University of Utah. This is a reunion of such because the very first time Slamdance ever happened, it happened right here at the University of Utah. So your relationship with them goes way back and is very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's full circle. Slamdance began in 1994, and their first year was here at the University of Utah. There's an amazing accessibility disability center at the university that's known nationwide, and so the honor is really ours. And it just feels right. It's the right collaboration for sure.
So before we go, tell us your hopes for the future, for the hopes for the Unstoppable program, and then what you need.
We have to be willing to always learn, and to never feel like, okay, now we've got it, because I think that's a major part of understanding accessibility and inclusion and diversity and disability is, you're always going to be learning more about it. And I think that being open to that is a major component of, taking on appropriate responsibility of being a film festival that is, that has a promise to help filmmakers tell their stories, So, I think that Unstoppable will only get bigger and brighter, and I think that as we continue on, I feel that the story tells itself, and those that want to support us, they know where we are, and we definitely, need all the help that we can get to get the word out there. So,
as you know, the program is probably over by the time you're seeing this, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, but that doesn't mean you still cannot find the content and all of the wonderful films and shorts that happened as a part of this program. Tell us where we can find this post Slamdance dates actually physically happening.
For sure. So slamdancechannel.com.
Everything's there.
Everything's there.
All right, so go to slamdancechannel.com if it's post-festival. If it's still happening, get up here and see these wonderful films. We highly recommend you support the Unstoppable program right here at the University of Utah. Taylor Miller, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Holly. I really appreciate it.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Talk 365 TV right after this.